Joining us now is Zach Schonfield, courts and legal reporter for TheHill.com, who's been tracking the political and legal battles behind both of these stories. Zach, good morning. I want you to walk our viewers through what the House would do with D.C.'s authority. What powers get clawed back and what actually stays local?
Hey, good morning, Nick. Well, as Tom just went through a moment ago, it's been interesting the fact that in this markup today, there is not a proposal to extend the emergency that has allowed President Trump to effectively take over the Metropolitan Police Department for more than 30 days. Congress, if they wanted to, they have the authority to extend that. But at least on the markup today, it seems that there are no plans to do so. But instead, there are these roughly dozen other proposals, which are really in all sorts of areas related to criminal justice. Everything from cashless bail to what is perhaps the most notable one, and that is a bill that would block D.C. voters from electing their own D.C. Attorney General. Instead, it would give that authority to the president, and that could be a big deal. Just take, for example, the current D.C. Attorney General, Brian Schwalb. He has now filed 2 lawsuits against the administration after President Trump began this crime crackdown. In fact, the D.C. Attorney General just filed a new motion in one of those cases late last night. So all of these bills in this markup today, they run the gamut, everything from bail to changing policies of juveniles to even DC's own Attorney General.
And Zach, there are a lot of changes in these bills. You highlighted a few because if the DA is picked by the president, we can expect a lot less opposition. But it would derail pretrial detention standards, sentencing, and transferring juvenile suspects. What are the most controversial provisions in these proposals from a civil liberties perspective?
I think one issue that has come up both here in D.C., but also you're seeing it play out, for example, even in Charlotte, where especially after the recent attack there, it's come up again, is this issue of cashless bail and some of these policies that blue cities have implemented across the country. Of course, President Trump and Republicans have really been taking aim at it. And of course, it's D.C. where they have this greater authority, as compared to some of these other states and cities where Congress can't so easily just walk in and change the laws themselves. And in these local jurisdictions. But of course, in D.C., they do have this authority. So this is really Congress's opportunity to try to get involved if they want to and essentially play the role of what is now played by the city council in implementing some of these policies. Now, in terms of some of the other ones, another big issue that we've seen come up is how to handle juveniles. We've seen a lot of criticism from U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro saying that she can't prosecute certain juveniles for crimes, and that's going to be some of the proposals on the table today, changing the rules that would make it easier to prosecute some of these juveniles and young adults more easily.
And one of the reasons she raised that is because statistics show a number of these car break-ins and some of these crimes are being committed by those who are underage and therefore able to obfuscate judgment that those who are older would face. But what's the message from the efforts of supporters, Zach?
The message here, I think you see it when President Trump walked out and tried to go to a D.C. restaurant near the White House last night, is they believe that the city, in their words, has changed. And after these federal troops have now been deployed for about 30 days. And they believe, even if this MPD takeover goes away, as Tom was just going through, that these federal troops are going to remain potentially for many months. So President Trump, certainly the message that the White House is now trying to send is that essentially crime is starting to get under control in D.C. And that's why you see President Trump, who, during his first term in the White House, never visited a D.C. restaurant other than his own hotel when it was here. I'm finally making this step of visiting a restaurant, even if it's just a few blocks away from the White House. So that's certainly the message they are trying to send, is that they believe they're getting crime under control.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.